Welcome back, friends. This is Dr. Mlelwa Lecturers. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and to click the bell, then put all for more updates. To join our Telegram group for discussions, just click show more in the description. Then if you scroll down, you see the links for the O-level and the A-level group. Welcome back, friends. This is Advanced Biology Coordination, and this is session 26. The facilitator in this session, I am Dr. Mlelwa. So in the previous session, we discussed about the mechanism of transmission of the nerve impulse across the synapse, but we didn't discuss about the details of the steps. So in the previous session, we discussed only about the explanations how the nerve impulse travel across the synapse. But in this session, we are going to see how the process occurs step by step. So if you understood the previous session about how the nerve impulse travel across the synapse, in this session it will be very easier for you to understand. So this session will be very short because we are just repeating what we discussed in the previous session, but here is just step by step. So let's go on. The first step is the alive of the impulse at the synaptic knob. And as we said, that the alive of the impulse at the synaptic knob alter its permeability and allow the calcium ions to enter. So this diagram shows how the impulse comes from this presynaptic, the synaptic knob of presynaptic neuron. Then the impulse from the presynaptic neuron comes here, and then after the arrival of the impulse called the opening of the calcium channels, and the opening of the calcium channel called the calcium ions to rush into the synaptic knob. So you see, this is the localized current that shows the life of the impulse at the synaptic knob, and here we have the synaptic cleft. So the calcium ions, they were in the synaptic cleft, and they are very important in the transmission of the nerve impulse at the synapse, and more especially when you are talking of the chemical synapse. So in the chemical synapse, if we don't have calcium, we can't do the transmission of the nerve impulse. So as you can see here, we have the postsynaptic neuron with the receptor proteins. So now let's see about the second step. And as we said, that the influx of the calcium ions causes the synaptic vesicles to fuse with the presynaptic membrane, so releasing acetylcholine into synaptic cleft. So the diagram which shows the second step can be seen like this. We have the synaptic knob here, and as you can see, entry of the calcium ions in the first step causes the fusion of the synaptic vessels with the presynaptic membrane, and then zikisha fuse in releasing neurotransmitters. So we have the acetylcholine molecules released into the synaptic cleft, and then you have the receptor molecules. So in the third step, the acetylcholine will diffuse across the synaptic cleft, and then will diffuse in the receptor molecules. So you see, acetylcholine fuses with the receptor molecules on the postsynaptic membrane. This causes ion channel to open, allowing sodium ions to rush in. So what happens in the third stage is that the empty vesicles has already back there into the cytoplasm of the synaptic knob. As you can see, the vesicles now they are empty, and then the acetylcholine molecule, they have been attached to the receptor molecule. So this is the receptor molecule, then you have the acetylcholine. So you see the labeling acetylcholine molecule fuses to receptor molecule. So acetylcholine receptor. After the fusion of the acetylcholine to the receptor molecule, this called the opening of the gates. So actually the receptor molecules, they act like the gated sodium channels, and if the acetylcholine bind to the receptor molecule, this causes the opening of this receptor molecule and allow the sodium ions to rush into the postsynaptic neuron. So after the rushing in or the influx of the sodium ions, the influx of sodium ions generates a new impulse in the postsynaptic neuron. So as you can see the labeling here, after the influx of the sodium ions, then the localized circuit is formed in the postsynaptic neuron. As you can see, the inside is positive with respect to the outside. That means in this region we have depolarization, and then the localized circuit is formed between the depolarized region and with the adjacent repolarized region. So we have the new localized circuit due to the action potential. As you can see, the vesicles again in the presynaptic knob, the presynaptic neuron, they are still empty. So what happens in the fifth stage, that acetylcholinesterase on the postsynaptic membrane hydrolyzes acetylcholine into choline and ethanoic, that is acetyl. These two components then diffuse back across the synaptic cleft into the presynaptic neuron. So as you can see, they have not shown the acetylcholinesterase here, but the acetylcholine has been broken down into acetyl in the choline. So here we have some, these are looking like green molecules, and the green molecule there is ethanoic acid, and then we have like red molecules which are choline. The diagram actually here is not clear, but this diagram has been taken from Understanding Biology book. So I failed to get the soft copy of these diagrams and even the soft copy of the book. That's why the diagrams, they are seen as if they are not clear. But I advise you and I ask you to go to review these diagrams in the Understanding Biology book, and you will see these diagrams very clear. So we have the green dots which are ethanoic acid molecule, that is acetyl, and we have the red dots which are choline molecules. So they diffuse back into the synaptic knob, into the presynaptic neuron. So after diffusing back, then the energy is released by the mitochondria. So energy released from mitochondria, which is in the form of ATP, is used to combine the acetyl and the choline. And the combination of acetyl and choline using the energy from mitochondria in the form of ATP will form or will regenerate the acetylcholine molecule. So the new acetylcholine molecules which are formed have been formed from the energy produced by the mitochondria will be packed again in the synaptic vesicles and being stored for the next nerve impulse. So the ATP released by the mitochondria is used to recombine choline and ethanoic acid molecule to form acetylcholine. This is stored in the synaptic vesicles for future use. So that is the last step. That means the ATP produced by the mitochondria used to combine acetyl and choline, and then the reformed acetylcholine is stored in the synaptic vesicles. So explanation of the mechanism of transmission of the nerve impulse actually is explained through these 6 steps, and it's very easy to memorize them. So there is no need for you to just complicate things. It is very easy. First arrival of the impulse, called the opening of the calcium ions. Second, the rushing in of the calcium ions, called the fusion of the synaptic vessels with the membrane and the release of the neurotransmitter. Third, the neurotransmitter, that is acetylcholine, bind to the postsynaptic membrane and called the opening of the sodium gates, and that means the sodium ions they rush into. So fourth, the rushing in of the sodium ions called the new localized circuit to be formed, and then the generation of the nerve impulse. Fourth is the breaking down of the acetylcholine, and sixth is the combination of the acetyl and choline using the energy produced by the mitochondria. So after explaining these 6 stages, we will be already finished up the mechanism of transmission of the nerve impulse. So sometimes teachers, they can ask you that explain the transmission of the nerve impulse at the synapse. Most of teachers, they like answering style that uses these steps and diagrams. Kwa hiyo walimu wengi wanavyokuambia explain the mechanism of transmission of nerve impulse at the synapse, walimu wengi wanakuwa nataka uelezee pamoja na diagram. Ila ukishaambia describe in any question of biology, describe means explain with the diagram. So if you are told to describe the mechanism of transmission of nerve impulse, hapo hata usijiulize uandike ya maneno au ya diagram, because in describing you should draw diagrams. So you write step, then you draw diagram. It's one among the very simple question which you can't fail it in the exam. So in this lecture, let I end up here, and in the next lecture we'll be looking about the rules of the synapse. So we have rules and then we have functions of the synapse. So let you be very careful with these terminologies, because some of the students, they fail the exams simply because of the mixing or just misunderstanding of these concepts, and then they end up failing the exams while he thinks they are simple and you can pass well your exams. So let's just end up here. Thank you everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to share the link for this video to your fellow students. Thank you.